Well, I guess we're not low enough. Not that you guys can really see much, because the light's so bright. Alright, so, I don't know how good our audio is today, but, this fabric, the extra stuff finally came in, so we're actually able to finally get working on making this head bag. Hi, buddy! Most of the stream is probably going to be silent aside from, you know, the music, just because the machine is loud as shit. And also I don't have my glasses, so I can't really read jack. Buddy should take a nap. My thread is deciding to do things at the moment on the bottom side, so we're gonna see what that's about. I have a feeling it just jumped. So it's not too big of a deal. I'm actually not sure what it's doing. Oh, hell. There we go. There must have been a loose loop that got caught. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while. There we go. Right now I'm just sewing the darts for... Need them channel points. How else are we gonna get the children's... their Tritos? Which, by the way, Baby Mans now has his own Twitch sticker. I don't know if you have access to it, but we do have a Da Baby Man sticker. It's like a tier 2 sticker, because Twitch is limiting me at the moment, so I can't put it on a tier 1. But it exists! There's a Baby Man sticker! The tiers basically is just you pay more for the same thing. So, I know on here, right, it's like you pay $5, $7, $10, whatever that. I don't set the increments, Twitch does. But basically tier 1, you know, you get the ad free and you get the channel points and stuff like that. Tier 2, I think you earn more points faster. And then you get extra emotes and stuff for channels that have them. And then tier 3 is the same deal. You get more points faster and you get more emotes if they have them. I have a free set, I have the subscribers, and then I have the one emote for tier 2, which is the Baby Man emote. There's nothing for tier 3 yet, so that's purely just for people who want to spend more money, I guess. But I do get paid more based on which tier is picked. I don't get to set the price of the tiers, though, because Twitch does that. It's their rules. I don't know. It's all weird. I'm sure there's other stuff I can do. I just haven't looked into it too hard, because I also barely know how to tiers work. Baby Mans. Hello. Speaking of, the Baby Mans is here. Oh, big stretch. The Baby Mans is also naked. We have officially got him in his summer cut, although I need to do some cleanup work. You got this whole chunk right here. Whole chunk of baby man's hair. I didn't say I did a good job of shaving him, but I did shave him, so he's all naked. A hydrate, not a hydrate. Baby mans, can you show them how naked you are? You want to show them how naked you are? Naked baby man. He is a noodle. He's a naked noodle. Yeah, are you a naked noodle? You look so skinny without all your fur. Throw the toy for the baby mans. And several more hydrates. Where's your toy? Go get your toy. Go get your toy. He's getting it. Hold on. There you go. Yeah. You look so stupid. He's so... Hey! Can we throw it for you or not? Cool. Yeet. I really gotta stop throwing it over there. No, it's all done, bud. I already threw it for you twice. It's all done. Oh. Oh no. I don't know if you guys can see him. But he's just standing there. Hoping that I'll throw his toy for him some more. Come get your toy. Yeah, come get it. Yeah. Good boy. Go bug your dad. Good boy. No, go bug your dad. He's a goofball. You're a good girl too, Bingo. There's only 4 of each piece, so I guess I sewed all those pieces already. Which means I need to get different pieces. These ones, I guess. I almost died! Ah. Ah. Guys, I almost did die. I almost exploded to death. I'm gonna do some of the bigger pieces. Yeah. There we go. So what I'm realizing is so like right here there's supposed to be this teeny tiny dart, right? But I'm trying to sew outside of it. So we're not gonna stitch that dart because that dart's actually useless to us. Because we're trying to give it as much wiggle room as possible. Which means I have fewer darts than I thought. But they'll be a good marking point for like where to put things later on. I don't know. For now, I'll just do the big darts. And that's that done. Oh, buddy, don't sit right behind me. You're gonna get rolled over. You want to be right on top of this. Buddy! Fuck off. Lay down, bud. There we go. Alright, so these ones are actually the antler pieces, which are extra weird on their own, because I think this is... Yeah, so it's sat like this. Around the antlers. Which once again also have darts, but the darts are useless to us. Oh, okay, so that's that, I guess. I have to figure out how they go together. Which is easier said than done. I'm pretty sure the antler pieces connect to themselves. But I'm not entirely sure. So this is... I know this is like the back of the head, and then this is under the chin, right? This is why we're supposed to make markings about where things go. And I also know I want to put a handle on at least one half, so that's a thing we have to consider. That's the future needs considered. This is the eyes and the cheek. Does that mean that this connects to this section? It does, but in a really weird way. Okay. Okay, so the point of the cheek needs to run along this part of the bottom. We can do that. We can stitch that together. That should be easy enough, I think. Let's start with that. So we need our big bottom piece. And this is along the shorter dart. We need... What is this? Is this 2? This is 1. We need a 1. And then it's the... Okay. Don't worry, guys. I got this. Maybe. So it's this edge along this edge. We got this. Which, thankfully, I have this huge thing, so... Should be easy enough. Although I guess it might behoove me to not stitch it like this, just because there's this flat edge which suggests this actually lines up along a different piece. It might be easier if I have that connected to whatever the other piece is, because that's the anchor. This is the top. Where is this piece? The snoot. Right. Now the real question is how do these connect to each other? Like that. Okay, okay. Hold on, I got this. The pointy side of that one to the flat side. Okay, cool. and this is a 1 to a 1. So we're going to connect these pieces instead, because this will make it easier later on. And then this chunk, just to kind of help you make sense of it, goes over like this. And go around the chin, which is easier said than done. But you know, that's the idea at least. Which then means that this curve here should connect to the antler piece. But that's future S's problem. Current S's problem is getting all the snoots... Get off my fabric! All the snoots connected to all of the muzzles. That's what we're doing right now. So all these ones connected to all of these. Now because of how we're doing this, I have to stitch each piece 4 times instead of just once or twice, right? Because there's an inside and an outside that are identical, and then there's also the left and the right halves, which is also identical but reflected. So that's that whole thing. If we have a 1, is this the other one? Yeah. No, that's a 2, right? I don't know what's what. Oh yeah, that's a 2. Okay, that's fine. So this is this point to this curve. So the front side of the curve is on the same as the point. Okay, cool. Don't worry guys, we got this. I should have labeled my pieces a little bit better when I traced them, but I didn't, cause I'm dumb. There's also a seam on these that is where the zipper will go, which is also future me's problem. Future me has a lot of problems. Cool. So there's that. And it was the flat side towards the point. Where did I put them? I'm also realizing I did not mute that part of the thing, so not bad. Alright, so that's these. Then I'm going to see how they line up with the antler pieces on the tape patterns. 'Cause I'm pretty sure. Oh no. Not the antler pieces. We need wherever the next zip piece is, which is the top. That's what it's called. Is it the top? I'm not entirely sure. It's the only other one that has zipper on it, though. I am so confused. Okay, well the cheek definitely goes to that part of the antler piece. Oh, it's a point. That's... oh, fuck. I fucked myself over. Alright, that's what happened. Okay, so I need to go from that piece to the antler piece. Which I need to make sure I have all my pieces where they all go. But it's specifically the point at the bottom. Along, is this a 1 or a 2? That's a 2. Along the square side of that. Okay. We got this, guys. So this is gonna look really funky. Because a lot of this kind of does a wraparound. But I have to stitch this one together first in order to be able to stitch the other one together. I also definitely have to trim this once when I'm done. But I'll make sure this curve actually kind of follows shapes. Yeah. So this is the inside. I think. No, wait. Yeah. This is where things get really weird. I'm doing good, hi Spade. I can't see shit right now. We're working on a head bag. So, because this goes kind of like this. And then it wraps up around the ears. And then there's this whole other chunk that's going to wrap around the antlers. So it's a really weird shape that we're currently trying to figure out. Which is, you know, easier said than done, obviously. But we're getting there. Definitely have to trim this excess. Where are my pinking shears? I don't know, I can't see shit. I had them earlier. Oh, there they are. Yeah. It's a very... This head bag's a very weird shape. Just because the antlers make things a bit complicated. And then of course we're going to stuff it too to give the antlers a bit more padding since they're 3D printed. You'll say antlers might not be the most compatible thing with a head bag, but we're going to make it work. And then of course I got to stitch this multiple times because things are dumb, so... This is... wait. This is one. There's one. Oh, this is one. Okay, so I need... I lost my pieces. Reese's pieces are gone. There we go. This is a one. This needs to go like this. Okay, cool. The hard part is figuring out how they go back together, because it's been like a week. I was waiting on more material to come in, and God knows I don't remember anything. Not a single clue what Past Me did a week ago. The only thing I remember is that Past Me definitely left a seam specifically to be sewn on the inside for stuffing around the antlers, and only the antlers, so that's a whole thing on its own. So I like this stuff, right? It's padded, it works really nice, especially once when you double it up, which is what we're doing. But, because yeah, like, when it's by itself, it's not that thick, but you do two of them, it's a pretty thick, nice, you know, padded surface for a regular fursuit. But for the 3D printed parts, especially the big skinny parts that antlers be, it just doesn't feel like enough to me. So I want to add padding, but just to where the antlers are at. We don't want it sliding all over the place and stuffing other areas. So I made sure to put a seam specifically around the bottom of the antlers to make stuffing them easier and keeping them stuffed properly easier. The hard part is I have to put a zipper in all this. And it's hard not because it's difficult, but because zippers are kind of dumb. It's because there's 2 layers of fabric, right? So to sandwich each side, which is doable, but it takes some brain power, and I've been using a lot of brain power lately as it is. Seeing as we accidentally got some birds. Things have been nuts lately. It's the point towards the square side. That's what it is. So we have 3 little birdies who are very quiet, very chill, in our living room now. They are very, very cute. Unfortunately, they are also extremely messy, and they have decided to kick dirt everywhere. Like, everywhere, all the time. And they kind of stink. They're stinky a little bit, but I think that's more my fault than theirs. Like, I think, first off, they need a proper dust bath and not just dirt. Second, their cage needs to be cleaned a bit. I already cleaned it a bit this morning, but the issue is I overstuffed the tray because I had a different plan for what I was going to do for their cage that's not working out because of the style of cage. So we're going to rework it a little bit to make it easier to clean and properly clean it. But I did not have time to do that today, so we did a quick pick-me-up clean. And anyone who's ever had birds can tell you, those little fuckers shit constantly. They just don't stop pooping. They poop all the time. They poop so much. Like, it doesn't, I feel like it doesn't really matter what kind of birds you have. If you have a bird, it just poops. They're just little poop machines. So when you got a bird that makes particularly stinky poops, it's not great. And then, of course, birds are just kind of dusty. Like, on their own, they just kind of are dusty. Especially birds that like to take dust baths. So, but we're hoping to get them in an outdoor setup soon, hopefully. But for now, the indoor isn't bad. It just has to be cleaned frequently. And then I think that might be the thing, is like in the winter, when it gets particularly cold, they might come inside. Although these are particularly hardy birds, so they should be fine outside even in the winter, but, you know, well, you're so cold. You're cold little babies. I don't want to put the cold little babies in the outside. You know. That's just me, though. And press your foot. So that's all of these pieces sewn. Trim up a little bit more. Trim that there too, just make sure I actually stitch where I want to later. And now I gotta figure out how to line up the antler pieces. So the issue is, right, is that this was a point. This was like a triangle point where multiple pieces met in the same spot. So now I have to figure out how to attach those points that I actually need sewn to there. think... Do I think? I'm not sure I think. I do think, but only sometimes, you know? That's a hobby of mine. Okay, so this needs to go backwards, is what I'm hearing. Hold on. Where's the ones? If I have the ones, that helps, because that actually looks the way the pieces looks. 1, 1, 1. These are 2s. Okay. So it needs to go square uppies. And then does this stitch all the way down and around, or just to a point? I'm not sure, to be completely honest. Oh, well, this is where things get weird, isn't it? Okay, so if I can show you guys. This is where I'm currently at. And I'm 90% certain, because I know for a fact, this goes here, right? This wraps around here, so I'm pretty sure that this somehow goes on top of all of this. Somehow. So this definitely lines up to here. And then I don't really know what happens here. I think this might line up like so. Yeah. And then I don't really know what happened here either, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, that goes to that. When I cut this, weird things happened to the shape that don't normally happen. Yeah, because then this goes all the way down. And around. Okay, and then that connects to there. Okay, so that actually makes things a lot easier, because all that means... Is this piece? Oh, it sure fucking is. Okay. So, I have to do a wraparound. That's what I'm essentially doing. Because this corner starts... I don't know if I'm showing you properly or not. Hold on. So this corner starts here, it wraps all the way over this curve, and then this flat edge, this dart, sticks into line up with that. So it's going to do a whole kind of triangle-y, pyramid-y shape by the end of it, which is going to be a pain in my ass. I kind of feel like maybe I should have done that first, but I'm stupid, so I didn't. And then, of course, this line that doesn't get sewn on the triangle is where the zipper goes. So that's going to be a pain in my ass. Hooray! Look at me go. God damn it. Alright, we got this. Don't worry. We got this. Started with that side uppies. We're going to wrap our way around. Do a wraparound. Swoop, swoop. I'm going to go like this, because this is kind of the direction the fabric's working with me. And then because this was actually kind of snug on the antlers, I want to make sure I get a lot of That actually cooperated surprisingly well. Woo! Although my thread's doing some stuff now. Which is fine because we're almost out of the bobbin anyway. Bingus, I need you to stop using your face. Thank you, babe. So, this entire seam, this one, gets a zipper. And then when it flips right side out, it looks like this. And then this is actually this side of the head, so it'll go something like this over the antlers, which are sticking right now because the inside is kind of grippy. So if I actually angle it, it's gonna look like an oven mitt. Hooray! But of course he's not gonna be on a head, and you know all this will be tighter. It'll be a bit more snug, but he's gonna look a little silly. He's gonna look a little silly, but that's okay. He's gonna be nice and padded up. So now we know that actually stitched really well. I'm surprised by that, not gonna lie. Usually when I freehand large tight curves like that, things do not go well. Things generally don't cooperate. So we're gonna do another one. Piece number one, onto piece number one. And it was square up away from the point. Oh wait, that's right. I forgot I gotta reload my bobbin with black thread this time. It was already loaded with white, and this is all on the inside, so it's not like it really mattered. You're not gonna see it. But once when we do the zipper, we definitely want it all to be black thread. I know, baby mans. We are going to take a quick intermission, just a quickie, just a sneaky, kinky, little bitty one, because it is the din times. Thank you for the check-in. We're making progress. But we are going to take a quickie, teeny tiny little break to feed the dogs their dinner, and reload the bobbin, I suppose. And then we'll be right back. Hi, we are back. You gotta get hyped. Okay, we're back. I had to go check on the birds because they're being assholes to each other for the sake of being birdie assholes. But it's nothing that I'm concerned about. It's just, you know, they don't know each other. They're all strange. What is happening? Camera angles? There we go. It's just them kind of bickering over food more than anything. It seems like nobody's actually getting hurt or anything. There is also a little bit of an age gap thing going on. So we got some older hens with a younger, possibly male. We're not sure if Bob is a boy or a girl yet. We just know it's Bob. But they are currently bickering and fighting a little bit. So it might just be some settling in. They need to learn each other's boundaries. But other than, you know, a peck here and there, it's whatever. Because they have space, they have room. I might have to get a second feeder or something to give them, like, separate spaces, because they don't seem to like to share the feeder together. We'll look into it. We'll figure it out. For now... There's the piece. I was like, I'm missing a piece. We're gonna go back to sewing these together. Hopefully. Hopefully things work out. Thank you for the check-in. I'll flip this like this again. And I won't forget to mute this time. Bye, Change. Have fun at work. I'll show you pictures. Hopefully we'll get this done today. Hopefully. Fingies crossed. there was a section here that didn't quite go out as far as I'd like it to from the seam. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as far as I'd prefer it to be. So I restitched further out, and now we're gonna pop that seam real goodly like. There we go. Now that whole seam's popped and we have a much larger seam allowance, which is great. That's what we want. We want some wiggle room. This is also the other... This is either the inside, which would be like this, or the outside. And it'll go also over the antlers if I actually, you know, place it over them properly. Oh yeah, that's a good fit. And then, you know, zipper. Now I just gotta do it 2 more times. And then we get to sew the zipper in. Maybe. No, I have to sew the handle first. Then we get to sew the zipper in. So now I have to do this piece. Oh, but do I actually get to sew the zipper in? That's a good question. I think the answer is yes, but, you know. Who knows? Not me. Alright. I am glad that these pieces are at least a little easier to figure out how to line up. Of course, it helps if I'm actually lining it up with the right piece. So, you know, I got that going for me. Dun, dun, dun. Upside, I didn't stitch too far, so it should be easy enough to pull the stitching out. There we go. Alright. That solves that problem. I was on the complete wrong side, that's why. There we go. Problem solved. Now it'll stitch the right direction. Cool. Good shit. Alright, next one. This is why I don't like doing streams when it's machine sewing, because first off, you can hardly see what I'm actually doing. Second, it's kind of just boring, I feel like. I don't know how you guys are finding, but I feel like this is a very boring thing to watch. That's just me. Okay, we're gonna do it right this time. On the square side. Square away from the square side. There we go. Cool. It'll work. It's weird, but it'll work. It didn't quite stitch how I hoped, but it ain't gonna hurt nothing. This spot didn't quite stitch as far as I'd like it to, so I'm going to re-stitch it. So for a lot of this, I can only stitch so far because there's only so much seam allowance, and I want to make sure that, you know, it doesn't fray. But basically the rule is if I am on or outside the line, there's enough fabric. We just don't want to be inside the lines, and for this particular part, because we're stuffing it, being outside the lines is beneficial. So, you know, we're just kind of... My nails keep snagging on this stupid batting on this fabric. It's driving me bonkers. I probably need to cut them. They're probably a bit long. Oh, come on. Bang. Bang. There we go. Alright. I really need to cut my nails because they just keep snagging. Not that cut nails would do much better, but they do if you file them. Alright. So now I need to decide what is the insides and the outsides and who's getting the handle. So this is a 2. This is a 1. So I guess that's an inside and an outside. Nice. And 2 and 1. And if this goes like this, then this one gets the handle because we're putting it on this side of the head. Cool. So this particular 2. Hold that table. Webbing. Would you fucking lay down, Bingo? Good lord. Give me the zipper. Thank you. what she's all upset about. She's upset because there was a zipper in her seat. Alright. Gonna go for an 8-inch handle. There we go. Later. There we go. Alright. So now that's that. This is the one I was doing. But I need to make sure that I'm putting the handle where I actually want it. One of these places is not like the other. It's this one. Oh, wait a minute. I lied. We don't need to do the handle yet because the handle goes on a different piece. Cool. We can do the handle though. If I want to piss myself off. Because God knows I'll put it on the wrong side. Okay. Making note of that. That is a mouse tool we can use for later. Alright. Nope, sorry, Vegas. The zipper goes all the way from the top of the head down to the middle of the snoot. All the way from the tippy top. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flip these inside out first. Let me grab, because this is a 2. This is a 2. And this is a 1, right? Yeah, this is a 1. Okay. I'm just going to kind of line them up alongside each other so that way they mirror each other. There we go. Of course, we want to make sure we're doing it along the correct sides. This side. There we go. And then if I stitch it like this, and we flip it, that'll be that way. Okay, cool. Oh, good shit. Okay, cool. To line it up. Yippee! Thank you for the check-in. Oh, wait. Well, shit, that ain't right. Fuck. Napping so hard. I'm realizing that I fucked up this. So now I get to pop a bunch of seams so I can restitch them. Hooray. gonna kind of back it all the way up to here and see if I can't do anything about it that way. And this is where that overlap was. Oh god. We'll see, hold on. I may have to, like, restitch the thing entirely, but... Oh, not if the thread's popping out of my machine. Go bug your dad. Yeah, because that's not it. Alright. That is the thing I like about this thread, is that unlike a lot of your normal all-purpose threads, it's got a little bit more of a sheen to it, which means that when you cut it, it actually is a little bit slipperier, which helps the loose threads slide out. Not great if you pop a seam. Fucking fabulous if you're trying to do so on purpose, though. Yeah, we're just gonna pop this whole seam. Oh. Almost had it, actually. Alright. There we go. Much better. So now our fabric should actually, you know, line up properly. That was my bad. I was stupid. But only a little bit, so it's okay. I was only a little bit stupid. And I already forgot how it... Oh, I already forgot how this is supposed to line up, so... Stop it. Okay, so it's supposed to go all the way... Yeah. The zipper's supposed to go all the way from this point down. So if we line it up, if we do it and you don't fuck it up, it just works. There we go. That's what we were trying to do, and now I don't know which way my zipper is supposed to go. Cool. Wait a minute. Hold on, I'm learning things. I'm learning how zippers work. Hold on. Are you learning how zippers work, babe? Bingus is learning. She's also learning how zippers work. This needs to be... I know. This side. Right. Then it'll all flip this way. Yeah. Okay, so this needs to go here. And it all goes down over this curve. Okay. Hold on. We almost got this. Hold on. It ain't pretty. I don't know what my bobbin is doing right now. I probably need to rethread it or something. But it'll absolutely fucking work. So now if we flip, we have a very, very nice zipper. And a split half of the head. So depending on which way you flip this is either the left or the right half. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that it's fully inverted and that everything fits it. Which I believe so. So there's half. Now I just gotta figure out the other half. I think this one I just, yeah, I line that up at that point. Okay. So if I actually, because again, I want to make sure I have the right ends. I have an itchy eyeball. Hold on. There we go. And then it was the same deal. I gotta flip it inside out again. Because it was over the curve along the square. Over the curve along the square from this side. And then when I flip it, it should fit. So I just gotta make sure that this... Who is texting me? Everybody and their mother. Very important business message. Here, hold on. This can get out of here. Oh, well, it can if it lets go. There we go. That's no longer important for the time being. All right. That's weird. What the hell? I don't know what's going on in there, but thread conspiracies, I guess. I don't really know. And then we'll double check, make sure that everything else is threaded properly. 'Cause I don't know what the hell the problem has been this whole time. since we got that stitched up top, I actually want to look at the other one and see exactly where it ended, so I can stitch there. So about an inch above the very bottom dart. Okay. Because that way my zippers will actually properly line up, assuming that I don't make them curved in all the wrong ways. Oh, sorry. There we go. Perfect. Oh, I'm just realizing that, you know, I don't know what I did. But yes, now we got this nice top stitch, which will keep the lining fabric from bunching into the zipper when you zip it. Kind of important. Not the most important thing, but it's a nice little detail that makes a big difference, you know. It's one of those kind of things. And now we'll do the same thing on the other one from the opposite direction. It's being a pain in my butt, but it works. I got it to work. So now we got those tops stitched. Not gonna lie, it's hot in here and I'm tired and I still have other stuff to do today. So, oh god, my eyes are itchy. There's like little white fuzzies everywhere from this fabric and I think they're getting in my eyeballs. That or my eyelashes are attacking me again. Either one is possible. Let's do a raid. Let's see. Who do we know? We're gonna go raid Zustana because we haven't raided them in a bit. And they are hand embroidering. A very pretty thing. This is an 18 plus Twitch, so if you are under 18, don't join the raid, please. We'll have everybody pop over there. And hopefully this time I'll have the head bag done before the next time we do a work stream. Although I realize that's tomorrow, so probably not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. What do you know? So odds are tomorrow we'll be back again with another work stream, and we'll finish up the bag. Hopefully, we'll find out. I'm so tired. I need a nap. I will see you guys tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Friday with more gaming. So bye, guys.